Here we are, episode 2 of If You Build It podcast. And we're very excited about this. As we said in the previous episode, it's taken us months to get here. And we're just very excited to sort of, showcase business leaders in our community. And our first official guest that is going to be on today's episode, we're very excited about.
Yep. So like you said, our first guest is Ken from Be Elite. Welcome, Ken.
How you doing, guys? Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Anytime.
And this is great. We're happy. So let's tell us about your business a little bit and what you do, and then we can have some fun with it.
Sure. I own one of my businesses called Be Elite.
Okay.
As you just heard.
Yeah.
And we focus on a system called stress reduced fat loss. And we designed that over the last probably 15, 20 years working with different masters and studying with them. And really we're assessing different stressors. So stressors could be sleep related, gut related, hormone related, can't lose weight, can't gain muscle. Okay. And
Can't gain muscle.
Yeah. Some people just like the hard gainers, people who like have a hard
Really?
time. Yeah. They work on them.
How do you know that you can't gain muscle?
People who train, they have a lot of calories, but they just can't gain weight. Their muscle, they don't get hypertrophy.
Wish I had that problem.
Yeah, a lot of people, it's the same. It's all gut health, right? But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But we do a certain assessments. We call the 5-step assessment, which we look at everything from thyroid, hormonal profiling, neurotransmitters, sleep. We look at your primal eating pattern and then decide how do we find solutions to that using nutrition, lifestyle, supplements, movement.
And why did you get into this? Like, what made you wake up one day? This is what I want to do.
I would say our stressors become the thing that we become experts in. So for myself, growing up, healthy kid, great. My parents were both nurses, out of Trinidad. And
Trinidad?
Yeah.
They do used to do that.
I can't control myself. I'm sorry.
So I don't know. I just was always around eating well, like taking your milk of magnesia before school, just learning all those things, reading their books when I was a kid. And then got into training because of my parents. They're both pretty athletic and worked out. And then I had I had eczema when I was younger. And I still, I guess, technically, that's always with you.
Yes.
So I just started, as I got older, it got worse. Then I started having more food sensitivities. So then I started diving into figuring out what the hell's going on with me. So as I started learning about myself, then I started being able to help others.
Nice.
So that's kind of where it came. And I remember once saying, if I could have a job where I just worked out and did stuff, I thought it'd be cool. But that's kind of where it started. That was just like a little dream in my mind. But as I went to school for neuroscience at U of T, did a specialist in that, and I applied to Cairo, and I got the loan. I got in on the waiting list, but I didn't get the loan.
Wow.
I got into School of Chicago, and then I got on the waiting list for Toronto. And to get in the States, it was about $250 American. So there was no bursaries, there was no stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm going to start working out at a gym. And they asked me to work there as a trainer. I was like, forget that. I don't want anything to do with that. Right. But then I was like, well, why not? So then I kept getting promoted. Every time I said, I'm going to hand in my resignation letter. Then I was running the health center. I was running 60 staff, and I was helping people.
Right.
I was teaching the staff how to help others. And that's kind of how I got into it. Then we obviously left and started our own business, but we saw differences in the gym. I'm sure you guys see in your own business, there's holes in certain,
Yes.
you may work for a company and go, there's some holes there. They're not doing things, and it's hard to rebuild the business that isn't yours.
You're almost like us. Like it's about a relationship building, right?
Yeah.
And it's long term.
Yeah.
It's not like a one-time transaction or a series of sessions. It's years in some cases, right?
Yeah.
That's right. So we said, if we ever leave the business, we're going to focus on the X part that no one's talking about, which is why do some clients not get results? I realized it wasn't the nutrition, it wasn't the training. Maybe it was the stress. Maybe it's stuff at home. Maybe it's how they feel. Maybe they react to food. And in the gym, we just didn't care. It's like pump it in, pump it out. So when we left, that's kind of where we started. That's kind of how I started the business, and that's how I started focusing on what I did. It was mostly because I had my own issues. And
then how many years now in business?
Well, let's see. In this business right now, it will be 14 years. I'd say business total would probably be almost 20.
Wow.
Yeah, because we had a business and then we shut that one down, started to rebrand it. Guys know what that is. Yeah.
So let's talk about gut health and some topics that people are.
Well, Riyad's all about gut health.
No, but it makes people uncomfortable talking about gut health, right? Let's talk about the bathroom. Like, how often should somebody be going to the bathroom? Is there like a norm, or is there? Because I know people train their bodies. You know what I mean? Like, I have to go in the morning or whatever it is. So like,
bathroom's an interesting topic. Like I would say 2 to 3 cups semi-soft poo. You should be able to throw it. He should be able to
2 to
catch it behind
3
me.
cups.
Yeah.
In,
At
in-
least.
in one
In one
go?
sitting. Ideally in a sitting, but some people break that up throughout the day. That's okay. You can kind of like use
How
it.
do you break up?
So they do they may go in the morning and do 1 cup. In
Yeah.
the afternoon, they do half a cup. Then they do a cup and a half in the afternoon, right? Like, so that's possible. It's not too bad, but you want it to be solid. You know, we should be able to throw it back and forth to each other, catch it and throw it back.
So
It shouldn't be like
you
melting
gotta
in
test
your
it,
hand.
okay?
Oh, yeah.
Should be melting in your
Yeah, it should
hands.
be
you know,
melting.
everything,
But
right?
solid even in the liquid? Like even in the toilet
Oh yeah,
water?
yeah.
it's
Shouldn't be
solid?
shouldn't be solid on contact. One of those. No,
Yeah,
it should be
no.
like I'm throwing it. It's like cup of corn. Got it. And then
Wow.
should be like like
Cob of
firm,
corn.
firm like that. Yeah, yeah. That's
So,
ideal.
so if you don't have cob of corn poos,
Yeah, or firm. I guess you
firm
could say
poos,
banana stool.
what,
I guess you
what would cause that?
A couple of things, right? Like sometimes it's people having low stomach acid, so they're not digesting their food properly. So then it's coming out like semi-solid, broken, not absorbed well. You have food that's actually in the stool versus waste. Sometimes, it's stress. People are very stressed.
I'm sorry, how does that happen?
What?
Food in the stool, not waste.
Yeah. So a lot of times, I said low stomach acid. So then what does the food do? It sits in there, kind of ferments a little bit,
it doesn't
gets
get
into our
broken
gut.
down.
Yeah. And then you have food in your gut, a half digested food. So then like body's like, well, I'm not breaking this down. It moves along with the other waste. And you see, hey, how come I got like green peppers in there? Or, I got chicken in there. And so their gut's not breaking things down properly.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it also because of the chemicals now in food? Does that play a role to it?
I think
or-
that's part of it. But I think a lot of us are like, we're eating and we're doing this and we're on the phones and we're, and hey, honey, and we're running and we're mixing stuff. And we're not like, okay, let me just sit here and chew. And we're like, we're just, just like ripping stuff off the bone and swallowing, right?
Why is corn always in poo?
Most genetically modified food on the planet. So that cell wall is like,
So it's hard to break down.
it's been 100 years of adaptation.
I
so
did
that's
because
not ready for
years
it.
ago, true story there, Ken. I took a comedy course at Second City downtown, 2012, and I did it about taking a poo. And I literally talked about the whole corn thing because I literally looked at my own and noticed, and I don't barely eat corn, but when I do eat corn, it just sits there. You could chew it, drive over it with a car, and it's still there intact as if you didn't chew it.
So is there any form of corn that's good or no? Like
oh yeah, like this, like if you go down, maybe down south, like maybe Ecuador, and find, people that not necessarily they're living there, but the natives that were there before we had people from, Spain or whatever come in there and mess it up. Then you may see corn, it's this big. It's not this big, it's this big.
So corn is actually supposed to be smaller.
Yeah, it's been genetically modified, right? So
Wow.
modified corn, right? So then also the cell wall gets harder for us to break down. It's hard enough for us to break down cellulose anyway, right? But
Oh.
so you
So
go down
that is
there.
actually not a bad thing to have corn because it's been modified enough where it doesn't break down properly in your body.
I don't know if we like that. I don't know if that's a great thing, right? Because you have a modified food, like just kind of like pushing its way through your body, right?
And can that cause damage?
Whatever we're using to modify the corn, that's not going with the corn. That's like in us. So we don't, so we don't want to get modified.
And that's why I don't eat corn.
I used to love corn as a kid. You put butter on it.
Well, every
salt on it.
every West Indian person,
You get these little short knife things. You stick them in the side. I was so happy to use that.
what I don't like about corn, especially when you go to like corn fest or whatever, communal corn. It's the communal butter. I don't like.
Oh yeah, I never
you take a
liked
couple
butter.
bites and then put in the. I just I have a hard time enough with germs. I don't want to see someone taking
The
a couple
double
bites
roll, I call
and
it.
go needs a little bit more butter and then rolling it back in there. It's disgusting.
Yep, I can agree with you on that.
Cannot stomach that.
So is there any like supplements or something you should be taking daily or like I know everybody's different, but is there like a must have to have in your diet?
Yeah, like I find there's certain basics, right? Like magnesium's obviously one of them. For a couple of things, right? It does about 200 to 300 different reactions in the body.
Wow.
So think about that. Most people go, yeah, I want to have this or this. But I'm like, if you don't have mag, so many things don't work well. We don't manage stress well. We don't lower cortisol properly. We don't manage insulin well. Our muscles don't relax. We have higher risk of anxiety, whatever. We don't detoxify properly. Like, all these people talk about, let me take glutathione and let me do this. We need magnesium to help make glutathione. So it's like, why go take glutathione without magnesium? So magnesium would definitely be number one.
Okay.
And in our system, with all the electronics and stuff, our nervous system is more ramped up than 100 years ago, than 50 years ago. So kids, everyone should be taking magnesium to settle their nervous system. Right.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So does magnesium also help you sleep? Am I wrong with this?
Yeah. It's one of the traits that it'll do. It'll help calm your nervous system so you can get into sleep.
So you see people that would have it. It's weird that you say that. I was on something called TikTok. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Oh yeah.
I see your TikToks there, Ken. And there was a guy that was highly anxious, had high anxiety, took vitamin D and magnesium, anxiety gone.
Chilling. Yeah.
And so interesting that you say that's funny. I just saw it literally at like at 3:30 today.
Yeah. D3 would be another one because
Is that the D drops?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it. Every cell in the body has a D3 receptor. It's like a key and lock. So it's
Right.
like being deficient in D3 is a lot of problems. Our immune system is not great. Our mood isn't great. Our ability to burn fat isn't great. Like all these different things happen without D3, right? So they first looked at that where they had people, I guess, in wards where they were challenged mentally. And when people in all the hospitals were getting sick, people in the ward would be like, fine. How come they're always never getting sick when there's an outbreak in the hospital? And they realized they had a very high dose of D3 because they don't see the sun. So you're giving them 5,000, 8,000 IUs of D3 a day. And they started realizing, oh, so our immune system is pretty cool with that. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So magnesium, D drops.
Yeah, do that. Definitely do D3.
Is vitamin D essentially, right?
Yeah.
So you could take D3 or vitamin D pills or.
Yeah, D3 is a better form. You always want to take the best form. So it's like.
So that's a liquid form.
It's like saying, do I want a Jetta or do I want an Audi? I'd rather have the Audi.
Yeah.
Right? I heard you guys talk with the car.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, Audi all the way.
Yeah, I know.
Like that. So that'd be good. I'd say fish oil would be another one. Fish oil, I think, from colds to cancer. You're working at inflammation, you're looking at your brain function, you're looking at your heart valves, you're looking at, your joints. All those things are important for fish oil. You can use it for so many great things. Mental focus, everything else, mood, hormones, hormonal profile. So I like that. So I'd say magnesium, D3, fish oil, zinc, and something digestive. Those would be the 5, I'd say, like the ones
like HCI type thing, you mean?
Yeah, like taking HCl, like a hydrochloric acid, or some sort of enzyme support so you can break down food, right?
Yeah, I take it. Well, because of you, I take HCI.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't take,
I'll take that.
Digesting your food's key, right? Because otherwise, if you don't digest your food well, then you don't eliminate well, or you don't absorb well. So
now, when you say absorb food, is it food that is more natural in its state, or modified foods? Like what digests easier?
Definitely.
Or better.
What digests better? I would say, well, the body has a better time with food that's real.
Right.
For food that's like, it's like, what am I doing with this? How am I breaking this? It just has to work so much harder.
Right.
Because it's like you're really breaking down stuff that's like breaking down cardboard, or it's like hard for your stomach.
Right.
Yeah. So that'd be my 5 for sure.
So I'll get back to the pooing thing. So you're saying 1 a day?
Yeah, one. If you're doing 1 or at least 2 to 3, that's the amount. Whether you break it up in multiples or once, doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah. And then if it's not, if your poo is not solid, then you have to sort of watch what you're eating. Mm-hmm. What if you're pooing more than that in a day? What would be the cause of that?
Well, you could be taking in a lot of calories. So if someone's eating a lot, right? It's a lot of clients, if we start ramping up their food, like, man, I'm going more than I ever have, right?
Right.
That could be one thing. So that doesn't always have to be bad.
Right.
It's just more the urgency. So let's say you guys are all sitting here, we have a meal together, 1 minute later, I run to the bathroom. We're hanging out later, we're at dinner, I eat, 1 minute later, I run to the bathroom. It's you shouldn't have to go right after eating. That's when your body's like not too happy with what you're eating.
And is it at that time where you ate before?
Sorry?
Like, say, for example, you're at dinner and you ate something and you had to go right away.
Yeah.
Is it because of what you ate, or is it the meal you had prior to that?
Well, it seems to be triggered by just what you ate, right? Every time you eat, you go. Every time you eat, you go. That's what we don't want. You don't want that kind of frequency. Yeah.
Interesting.
This is a whole new world, eh? Like, you can
say. Yeah,
no,
I'm just thinking about myself. I'm like, no, I usually go. No, I'm pretty consistent. But if you are, so let's just say if you are, your body is trying to go in the morning. Let's say you start suddenly going in the middle of the night. Like, what does that mean when you're sleeping? Yeah,
that sometimes could be different things, right? Like I said, if stress impacts the body, it changes it. So your sphincter between small and large intestine, that may either be shut or it's going to open at different times. So stress, changes in your life, changes in your sleep, water, coffee, all those things can change when your body is getting ready to relax and release stool. So yeah, so a lot of times people say, yeah, all of a sudden it's just coming anytime it wants. I'm like, well, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
It just means there's variability in your life then.
So in terms of diet, what are some main things you recommend we should be eating at every meal, or at least a few times a week? Or
okay, that's a good question, because everyone's so different. Yeah. So but if we looked at it like from what are some basic things you want to do? I would say if you do have some sort of protein, make sure you source it well.
Okay.
So make sure you're sourcing your protein. Like, don't just have like, yeah, I'm having like free range eggs. Like, make sure they're pasture raised. Try to get the better source. If you're going to be having animal source, grass finished, not just grass fed. Grass finished means it's only fed grass versus
Grass finished.
I never
Yeah.
heard that before. Actually,
grass fed means, hey, here's a blade of grass and then some corn, right? They're feeding them corn and grass.
Right.
But if you only grass finished, means from start to finish, you had grass.
So if I look in the this grass finished.
Yep.
Wow.
Where do you see that?
Yeah.
I have
I've only seen
never
grass
seen
fed,
that.
but I can't think of.
Yeah. That's and a lot of stores will only put grass fed because that's the catchword, right? They'll put that, right?
So where do you get grass finished meat from?
I've seen it at Farm Boy.
at
I've seen it.
Farm
We
Boy.
use True Local as a local company that we use. You know, you've
Yeah,
heard of
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You've heard
yeah.
of True Local. They'll deliver to you.
Right.
Wild Meadows Farms is another great one that'll deliver to you.
I used Niku Farms recently.
Okay,
They're pretty good,
have
yeah,
that.
Now,
yeah.
is there? I guess the cost would be more, right, for a grass finished versus grass fed or whatever kind of meat.
Jeez. Not
thing.
not enough that you'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
not
It's
enough.
more than like say you go to No Frills or something, but if you go to Longo's, it's pretty on par.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not gonna be too much different, like between the finished and the fed. It's not
And then
so much.
so you can get chicken,
pasture
steak,
raised. You want pasture raised?
all that stuff can be grass finished.
No,
all
if you're
that
doing chicken and things like eggs, like things like pasture raised, so you want them to be eating in the regular environment.
Right.
Yeah.
Which means they're run like a friend of mine, Sandy, used to work with me at the business. She has her own sustainable home, her and her family. So I went and visited her. Chickens are running around, they're pecking, they're doing like eating real things that chicken should eat. Not
Like
sitting
like what are they eating?
like bugs, grass, like
okay.
yeah. And then
Okay.
but not sitting in a barn with the door shut where they
Okay.
can't walk, eating feed, right? Corn, inflammatory stuff. So healthier chicken, healthier us. So pasture raised is a better form for us to kind of look at. So anyway, if you're gonna have any animal meat, it's nice to have some protein because that does help regulate insulin. It builds our immune system, which is important, and it's part of us detoxifying. So if you don't
Right.
have protein, who cares about muscle? Muscles are great, yes, but we want to detoxify, and we
Look
want
look at our muscles.
right.
Look at his look at his forearm compared to mine. Look at the veins. His forearm muscle.
we want to detoxify, and we want to build our immune system.
Right.
So that's a protein's good source. So having protein at least a couple times a day, especially in the morning, regulates insulin. Number two,
Are you seeing protein over like oats and all that stuff
yeah,
I'm seeing?
oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
So I'm seeing a
Remember-
lot of that stilled, what's it called? Those oats, those morning
Overnight oats?
overnight oats.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
And again, not good or not bad, but most people in North America are struggling with insulin stuff.
Yeah.
Insulin issues are
Right.
our biggest concern. So whatever we start eating sets the trend for the day. So you can have protein in the morning, have it lunch, have it in the afternoon. It'll help keep blood sugar under control and build all the backbones of stuff we talk about, immune system detoxification, all those things, right?
Oh,
We just
wow.
think protein, muscles. I don't care about muscles. I'm like, well, you care about detoxifying. So fats are important because they help with our hormones.
When we say fats, you know, I'm not like sipping oil, right? So
Yeah. So fats would be like avocados, nut seeds if you can handle it.
Not bacon.
Not necessarily not, but it's
I had
like,
to say it. I had to put it out there.
Yeah.
I love bacon.
you know what I mean? Like bacon is like, it's still considered a protein with lots of fat.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like having a T-bone steak
Oh.
in a different way. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, but like, you know, beef tallow, ghee, if you can handle it, those are great fat sources. Avocado oil, coconut oil, those are great sources. Just watching the seed oils, a lot of the
Right.
stuff like the vegetable oil, the canola oil, the safflower,
So
sunflower.
all that's what you should avoid.
Yeah, because they're very inflammatory. So you want to watch some.
Olive oil too?
Olive oil is like down the middle.
Okay.
Olive oil is kind of like, you know, it's like if it's sourced great, it's awesome.
Right.
If it's not sourced great, it's not.
So,
So-
so
But for overall, olive oil is pretty cool.
right. So but the sourced great. So is there a certain kind of sourcing
Yeah,
that
yeah.
someone
yeah.
should have for olive oil?
Sometimes I've just turned on olive oil once, and that's where I realized they go, oh, it says it's like Portuguese olive oil, and I looked at it, and it was like Wisconsin. I was like, what the hell? What is
Right.
this? And it had something else. It had another oil in it.
Wow.
Had sunflower oil in it, and I was like, oh, why are you doing that? What's going on with
So
that?
the first ingredient should be only olive oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it should be from somewhere where it's if it's supposed to be from Italy, it should be from Italy. Like
Okay.
it shouldn't be like from Wisconsin. Right. So,
Right.
so yeah, so fats are
Interesting.
important. And then, yeah, like I said, I really think for a lot of people, their spectrum of vegetables, fruits, that's individual.
Right.
I can't say everyone needs to have those because some people react to it.
Yeah.
You know, so fruits are great. Vegetables can be great. Just make sure, like, listen to your body. If you're like, if you're eating vegetables, you're like, man, I'm just like not feeling good, or I'm bloated, or you gotta listen to that.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so play with those two, and then you know me, I love organ meat. I think organ meat is, if you're not having vegetables, you should have organ meat.
Organ
Meat.
meat.
Listen to him.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
I watch his videos on this stuff. So yeah.
So things like, you know, liver, heart, they're great for actually helping the liver clean and methylate.
So you're
They're
eating
great.
liver to clean out your liver.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
When I started eating liver, my skin stopped being scaly because my liver started cleaning better. It doesn't matter how many liver cleanse I did, it wouldn't clean properly because missing the nutrients. So when I started eating grass-finished liver, right, then my liver had the methylation factor, which started
I love
cleaning.
that.
It's also the vitamin. You know what else I noticed? When I started eating liver, heart, kidney, bone marrow, I went back and did my blood work. It was off the charts, like not in a good way. The vitamins were all over the place.
You had blood work.
Yeah. So then I went back and I go, I better stop having my multivitamin then. Took my multivitamin out, took some vitamins out because I was getting it all from the nutrients from that.
Wow.
Oh,
Went back
okay.
to blood work again, everything bang on.
How do you cook the liver? I
don't cook it.
You eat it raw?
Yeah.
That's absolutely nasty. Like, how are you eating liver and heart and all this stuff raw?
Yeah,
It's not
buddy.
sushi.
It's in the freezer. I have it all sectioned out. Break off a chiclet piece, eat it, swallow it. It's gone. Just like that. Bone marrow, take it out. It's like gelato. Just
bone marrow I like. Bone marrow I do like.
Bone
Yeah.
marrow's just like gelato.
So
I
you
don't
hear
get
something carbs. They good, they bad. What do you
Carbs are great. You just have to, I always say, earn your carbs.
Okay.
There's something like we all have to earn them. At one point, I was eating way too many. I was like, okay. And
You
my
eat
sister,
carbs?
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Insulin sensitive, you got to eat carbs. But I found like I was having them the wrong times of the day. I
Okay.
wasn't walking enough. Same thing as everyone, right?
Yeah.
So we just have to manage the type and the kind. I like root vegetables for people more. Ground provisions, we call it in Trinidad. Provision.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
So
So
Trinidad. Yes.
So we want to have more provision. That's great.
We all have our provisions. Yes.
Yeah, rice is good. The more processed carbs are, the more we're going to struggle.
But
It's
What's
going to raise
better,
insulin.
white rice or brown rice? I've heard mixed.
Yeah.
Good question.
Or-
Great
or-
question.
Look at me. I got a good question for
And
you.
then there's
Thank
another
you.
rice too, right? There's brown white rice and there's like basmati rice and jasmine rice and all
Yeah,
stuff
then
like
there's
that.
that.
parboiled rice.
Yeah,
If you're from
parboiled. Yeah.
you know
Trinidad.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Trinidad.
Trinidad, yeah.
So, actually, when you look at it, white rice, if you can manage the insulin that we get from
Right.
it, it's better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I read that the other day.
when I went to Japan, everybody there was eating rice for breakfast and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're skinny and they're fit, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, if I ate that, my stomach would be out to here probably. If
Brown rice
You
is
beat me.
green rice is a lot of we see that when we're having brown rice, not only is the shell is some of the issues we're talking about, but a lot of the arsenic we get in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because they use arsenic because the rats and the mice eat the rice,
Oh.
and then they get the arsenic, and then so a lot of people end up having a lot of like issues when they're from having the brown rice. So just like leave that over there.
Interesting.
White rice a little bit more polished, so then they don't have to worry so much about that. So yeah.
So on your days off, when you're not being yourself and you want something good to eat, that's not healthy.
yeah,
That's
I
not.
would love to know this
That's
answer.
not raw brain or raw liver. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Come on, now. You can add you even add some salt to it when you do it. Or just running out of the freezer.
Wow.
What do you eat on a day when you're relaxed and you're not being this fit person? What do you eat?
Or if there is every day you have a craving, what is it? Like,
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
I'm curious.
You know, it's not even anything big. You know,
Probably
it's
not.
not. It's
What
like
are you gonna say?
Yeah.
I really like my ATP Loud beef protein. I'll make that. I'll put a little bit of coconut milk.
I have that daily though.
I'll put berries in it.
Yeah.
And then I'll make it thick, and then I eat almost like a mousse, like a spoon, like with a spoon.
That's
And
your
it's-
idea of cheating.
And it's like I love it.
Do you burgers or pizza or
I have burgers, but I won't have
The
the
bread,
bun.
yeah.
I'll have burgers.
Like, do you ever when you're talking about going to Trinidad?
Mm.
When you go to Trinidad,
Oh, yeah, of
you're
course.
not eating a burger without the bun. You're eating doubles. So like, what is when you're at home?
I'll have curry goat, or I'll have stewed goat or something like that.
Yes.
A jerk. I like that. I'll have that.
Do you like any of like the appetizers from Trinidad, like the pilori or the doubles? Or
I like the pilau rice. I'll definitely have the pilau.
Okay.
I love that. You know, I'll have kalaloo. I love that. I'll have the kuku. I'll have that. You know, all those things I can eat those, but when it gets to the grains, the breads, that's where I have to walk away from it. Just not because of health or physique or muscles. It just bothers my skin. I don't want to be like a
Right.
I don't.
Okay.
It's not about having abs for me. It's about I don't want to be like.
It would be, yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
not good feeling. So I've come from a place where Burger King every night, 20 double bubble gums, like a bowl of syrup with Krispy Kreme donuts in it. That's who I've been.
Wow.
You know,
Oh, really?
I have the record 43 Reese's Pieces, in one
do
sitting.
you have pictures of those days?
My wife probably does.
I
Yeah,
love
because
it.
43
drooling chocolate on myself.
So 43 big ones,
Yeah,
small
Reese-
ones.
yeah, big one. No, Reese's Pieces in one sitting.
What?
So I started eating this way because my system went, not because I wanted to be, healthy and this. It's just my system was like, well, you screwed us up. So what are you going to do now? So that's why I've shifted. But it isn't about trying to be fit and have abs. It's like, no, I was the guy. I loved food. I loved having weird, funny food and challenging my body, but I just pushed it a little bit too far. So I had to start listening to
Look
it.
at his face.
So 43.
Yeah, man.
Was it so? In how much time?
Yeah, probably in about 20, 50
My
minutes.
God, really?
Yeah. I remember my brain just shut off,
I'd
and
be
my
dead.
wife took a picture of drilling chocolate on
I
myself.
like to see that.
Yeah.
See that picture.
Oh yeah. I got a 56 double bubble gums. I have one sitting.
So would you have chocolate, like dark chocolate and stuff for that, or?
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you see as the biggest issue for children?
Number one would definitely be electronics.
Yeah.
Electronics and Wi-Fi. If we can shut that stuff
Oh,
down.
yeah, because of all the waves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're developing their nervous system in a flight or fight response.
Right.
So then that's aging them. It's speeding up their brain. It's their body's not repairing at night. So they're really just getting old really fast.
And they're and I've seen the hunch. They have the phone hunch.
Yeah.
These young kids.
Even if you look at it from that perspective, but yeah, they're not repairing, so they're not waking up. Their adrenals are always firing. Like these are massive issues that they're going to see it when we're old and whatever. They're going to be like not good.
Now, when you see someone that's midlife me, who's fat, what would you say I should do to start to get my life on track?
I'd say number one, focus on sleep. Make sleep a priority.
I can second that for
I
you.
don't sleep a lot. I know.
Yeah, so try being in bed by 10, asleep by 10.
10.
Yeah, trying to fall asleep and sleep through the night.
What time do you go to bed?
Probably 10:30 is probably what I'm getting in there. Yeah,
What time do you wake up?
5:30. Yeah, about that.
But when I do that, I'm more productive though.
It is. Yeah,
I can tell you that.
Everyone says that, and which I honestly call it a crock of garbage. Because everyone's like, oh, you up at 5 in the morning, right? You know, whatever the line is, you know.
Before COVID,
Rise and grind.
I used to be
whatever
like
it
that. I
is.
used to be on this thing, and then in COVID, I got lazy and I slept in. But that was my best time. I was fitter, but more sharp, alert, thought better.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't buy that. I mean, I for people that need it, yes. For me, I do need to sleep more.
No, but
100%. I don't sleep
If
enough.
you do, you'll see the difference. I'm telling you.
and you know it makes sense, right? Because some people we need to sleep more just because we don't sleep deep.
Yes.
So then, like, you know, some people are like, I could sleep in forever. Like my wife's a firefighter; she could sleep 12 hours. I've never, even when I was like 20s and I was partying, I could never sleep that long. You know, but not because I'm in better shape. It's just how my adrenals
Yeah,
fire.
it's true.
I'm a
Yeah.
wired person. She's not, right? So she can come home at 10 o'clock and go to bed 10:01. I'm like, no, I gotta like chill out. I gotta take all this mag. I gotta like, you know, get my brain down. So it isn't good or bad. It's just how our chemistry is, right? But we all need to sleep. If we sleep great, we manage insulin better, we manage carbs better, we raise testosterone, we feel better, we digest better, we repair the body. We're vampires. We need to sleep.
So what's the biggest challenge in your business right now? Because before we've talked, you know, you're up and down, but now what are you facing now?
I would say not relative obscurity. It's going to that next level. It's like, okay, so great. People know who you are. They know these things are starting to get outside. It's like expanding even further. How do you expand further?
Okay.
You know, and start reaching more people and building, I would say, a better team to handle the business coming in.
That's good.
So for me right now, my business partner, we're business partner for maybe 14 years. He stepped out of the business. So I had to start building systems to manage the business without him.
Right.
But still grow the business.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and not like, you know, blow your head off because you're like, oh, I can't, you know, you're working so much. And so the building better systems, that'd be the shorter version. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Better systems. I can run better. I can run more business through the business.
How old were you when you ate the 43?
He's still going back to that.
Because it's like I have been, like Halloween is now pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm eating chocolate a lot more. I have never eaten 43 of anything in a day.
Yeah.
Did you eat 25? Like did you black out? Did you pass out?
I think when I hit 43, my wife said I just kind of just like shut down. I just like started drilling chocolate.
Was this a competition or just?
No, just sitting on the couch. We were just talking. Go, babe, let's go. Let me see if I can do this. And then she goes, okay, I bought you these. And I was like, let me just do this.
I just think that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like that something to do in the US of the hot dogs. Like,
Yeah.
4th of July. Just that's
yeah,
crazy.
I had a bowl of syrup. The one when I worked at Extreme, when the trainers were all around me, I had a bowl of syrup, like so big silver bowls, 8 Krispy Kremes floating in there. And then I ate those, drank the syrup, had a steak after just to balance it. Oh my
gosh.
You know what I mean? Like had a 12-ounce steak after, try to keep all the blood sugar under control. But yeah, those are.
You said steak. How often should you eat red meat in a week?
I think that depends on you. You need like how's your digestion? Digestion's good, have it more. Your digestion's not great, work on digestion first.
Right. But okay, so if you have bad digestion, maybe once a week kind of thing?
Yeah, once a week until you can get on par. Otherwise, you're just gonna say I don't feel good. So
Okay.
work on quality of meat and then work on digestion and then slowly get to that. Yeah, give it time.
And how important is movement too? I know we're wrapping up here, Joseph. I know. How important is movement in the whole scheme of gut health and everything?
Movement's
Working out.
massive. I just, my brother and I, we kind of bounce off each other and keep each other kind of level. And he's
Right.
been walking for last year. He walked through winter time and I slacked off. And I'm like, okay, got to get, so all summer we've been messing each other. You going for a walk? Yeah, I'm going for a walk. So because it helps with digestion.
Yeah.
I noticed, wow, when I walk after dinner, my digestion's better before bed. Not only do I wake up leaner, I sleep better. My wife
Right.
goes, you're not snoring anymore. So I'm not as inflamed. So I'm like, okay. And it helps manage insulin. So walking's massive. It moves your lymphatic system, moves lymph fluids. So we're not like pooling lymphatic fluid, which is our sewage system.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, walking's amazing. Amazing.
And how many minutes a day are you walking?
Right now, probably about 40 in the evening. I'd like to probably split it and do 20 and 20, but I just keep missing the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I can do the night. I'm going to do the
And
night.
you recommend outside versus doing the inside?
I'd say if all you can do is inside, do inside. But if you can get outside's
Yeah, because
better.
elevation changes and all that
Just
stuff.
light, just
Yeah.
sound, just like everything. It's just so much better for our nervous system. It really is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, perfect.
Well-
Anything else?
No, that was so informative.
Okay,
I-
here's one last question then. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
One last question. What is, I'm trying to think, because we want to leave an impactful, moment here with our
Okay.
boy Ken, who had 43 Reese's
that's it for me right there. Right?
in one sitting and lived to talk about it.
Yeah.
What do you feel is our society's, outside of technology, what could we do tomorrow if someone is having issues? Most people are having anxiety and issues, etc. And they want to do one thing to make their life better. What do you recommend?
I would say start listening to your body more. And when I say that, I mean, most people will do things will happen to their body and they'll ignore it. Like, I got heartburn. Oh, I just need a pill. No, why am I getting heartburn? Start listening to your body. Why am I getting it? When do I get it? Or, I get loose stools. Well, when do you get it?
Mm-hmm.
We just kind of like, forget my body. I'm just kind of treating it and running. You want to start feeling better? Start listening. Your body always gives you the answers. We just don't want to listen to it.
Right.
If young girls, we talk about this, cycle period off, you're not missing birth control.
Right.
Something's off in how you're eating.
Yeah.
Right.
So start listening to the body. The body gives you the answers. Okay. Then listen to it. Don't shut it down. Listen to it.
I like that a lot, though.
Awesome. Thank
Ken?
you, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Always, bro. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys. Thanks
this
for
is
having
good.
me on. I love
And
it.
again, you are available on social and all that fun stuff. And your business is located here in the region.
Yep.
And again, this guy, follow him. What's your TikTok handle?
B_elite_Ken.
Yes, this dude who's helping you with those?
Who films you?
No.
I'm
I'm doing it myself.
That's a lie.
No, everything's myself.
That's a
Wow.
lie. I was just talking to him today,
We were
but I
talking
just saw
about
your TikTok.
Did your kids do that? I go, I don't know,
No,
actually.
everyone's me. Everyone's
Really?
me. Yeah, just set up the
Wow,
selfie
that-
and just do it that way. And do
Well,
it.
that's shocking. Well, good for you. But I thought you had your kids helping you because it seemed to be having too much fun by yourself.
I know. It's just me in the studio running around being silly. That's
Well, no, it works because I noticed it today. So I was like, that's great. So again, follow him on TikTok and online. And again, thank you, Ken, for coming in here today, being our first official guest
Yep,
of a
100%.
podcast name that I still don't know.
If you build it.
If You Build It podcast. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.